welcome back to a new video. I guess this is, in a way, a part 2, not necessarily like a continuation of something, but I made a video a little while back of me making this white linen summer dress for my fashion show, and actually for that show I submitted 2 dresses, so this is kind of the second dress that I submitted into the show. Definitely the white linen one was better. In my opinion, it was better. I think everybody agrees. Compared to the two, that dress was a lot cuter. I definitely like that one more. But this dress is pink and floral. I wanted to do something that was off the shoulder. I definitely have to perfect my off the shoulder techniques, but I made the shoulder things detachable. You can always sew them down, but for more casual wear, I didn't necessarily want the strap there, and it definitely is something I need to work on, is how to make the strap not look so weird. But this dress, like the other one, I made 2 weeks instead of 1 week before it was due, but I didn't know if I wanted to add the straps or not onto it, so I also made those the day it was due. In the end, I'm just a huge procrastinator, which is also why this video is coming out so much later than it's supposed to, but that's okay. So for this video, we are going to jump right into me making the dress, trying it on, and let me know if you like it better with the off-the-shoulder sleeves or sleeveless. So I actually made the design of this dress and also the flats in one of my CAD classes, but let's all ignore how awful my artistic skills are. But I think the final project that I made was really close to my goal that I drew out. So as usual, I started with my bodice. I wanted it to have a slight sweetheart neckline, so I made the center cave in only just a little bit, and then I did my usual 5-piece bodice, making sure to cut out another set of the pieces so that I can make a lining bodice of the same fabric. After sewing the 2 bodices together, I moved on to the skirt. The skirt consists of 2 tiers, so I wanted to make the bottom underneath tier to be longer so that it would have more of a poof. So I cut out 2 rectangles for the longer underneath tier and a rectangle and a half for the tier on top. I cut the longer one of the top tier rectangles in half and connected all 3 pieces together to then have one long continuous rectangle. For the underneath tier, I cut 1 rectangle in half, then connected each of those halves to the rectangle to have 1 piece. After sewing all the pieces together to have my 2 tiers of my skirt, I serged down the seam allowance and the raw side edges as well as the bottom edges for both pieces. Then, using my hand sewing needle, I hand gathered each tier down to be the width of my waist, and then connected the skirts to both the bodice and the bodice lining. Once they were sewn, I flipped the bodice pieces right side to hide the top raw edge of the skirts, and then I folded in the raw edge on the side of the bodices as well as the top raw edge. Taking my zipper, I put it in between the 2 bodices to hold them in place and then along the skirt back. Once that was all done, I pinned up the bottom underneath the zipper to connect the skirts. I made sure to do each tier separately so they wouldn't be stuck together. I then sewed together the back of both the skirts and the zipper, and then taking a lace trim, I folded up the bottom edge of both skirt tiers and sewed on the lace, as well as inserted the lace in between the top edge of the bodice. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to add sleeves, but here's where I decided to just go ahead and make them. I cut out 2 rectangles, making sure they were more than twice the width of my arm circumference for them to scrunch and gather up. I serged all 4 sides of the rectangles and then connected the 2 smaller sides together to make a tube. Taking my lace trim once again, I folded down the top and bottom serged edges and sewed down the lace. I then cut 2 elastic strips that comfortably fit around my arm and secured them together to make a circle. I then evenly pinned them around both the top and bottom of the arm cuff, and then using a zigzag stitch to still allow for the elastic to stretch, I made sure to stretch the elastic as I sewed it down to the arm cuff. I wanted to be able to wear this dress with both the sleeves as well as strapless, so instead of sewing the arm cuffs on, I used 2 safety pins to pin each cuff in place, and then the dress was complete.